Peace and infinite blessings to all of my amazing, wonderful, beautiful friends out there. We are here doing the lessons of A Course in Miracles, and we are on lesson number 89 today, which is still a practice period. And I'm on day 7 of my 7-day refeed after my 21-day water fast here in Costa Rica. Water is life. Please grab yourself a glass of water today at some point, if not right now, sometime soon. And let's jump into these lessons. So these 2 review lessons for me today turned into like a self-help workshop. So that'll be fun to explain after we read through them. So here we go. I am entitled to miracles. I am entitled to miracles because I am under no law but God's. His laws release me from all grievances and replace them with miracles. And I would accept the miracles in place of the grievances, which are but illusions that hide the miracles beyond. Now I would accept only what the laws of God entitle me to have, that I may use it on behalf of the function He has given me. You might use these suggestions for specific applications of this idea. Behind this thing, person, place, or thing, is a miracle to which I am entitled. Let me not hold a grievance against you, and for me, the name would be Sherry, at least on today's lesson, but offer you the miracle that belongs for you instead. See truly, this thing offers me a miracle. All right, second lesson for review. Let miracles replace all grievances. By this idea do I unite my will with the Holy Spirit's and perceive them as one. By this idea do I accept my release from hell. By this idea do I express my willingness to have all my illusions be replaced with truth according to God's plan for my salvation. I would make no exceptions and no substitutes. I want all of heaven and only heaven as God wills me to have. Useful, specific forms for applying this idea would be, I would not hold this grievance apart from my salvation. Let our grievances be replaced by miracles, Sherry. Beyond this is the miracle by which all my grievances are replaced. So I think once again today, these lessons are in an order where it makes logical sense for some amazing reason. So for me, I'm entitled to miracles is like you stepping into your power. It's like your affirmation, your declaration to yourself, to the universe, to God, to Jesus, to all your guides. You're like, I'm saying it because I mean it. And if I don't totally believe it, I'm really trying to believe it. So I am entitled to miracles. And then let miracles replace all grievances, because what happens is when you say, I am entitled to miracles, and you really mean it, the ego starts kicking in all these reasons why you're actually not really quite, you're not really a miracle worker, are you? You're not really worthy of miracles, are you? Like the ego starts telling you all these things about, well, at least for me, the experience was telling me things about myself, so that the next lesson that follows says, okay, we know the ego is going to speak up, so let miracles replace all those grievances the ego just said. So it's almost like a counter attack, or not attack, of course, but a counter offer to what the ego has to say. So it started coming in for me. So today's my last day here in Costa Rica, last full day. I'll be leaving tomorrow morning, heading to the airport and starting my trip back home to Florida. I did this 21-day fast and got into a place in my body as far as purification and cleansing that I never have before. And the recommendation is to continue to eat an extremely simple diet as you continue to release waste from your body, which could happen for the next up to 6 weeks, basically. So the ideal diet is fruit and leafy greens. And when you have salad, the salad should be very simple with tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, no onions, no garlic, no salt, If you're going to use dressings, look for recipes that are oil-free to the best of your ability. You know, I mean, we can have avocados, but anyway, so it's a quite a different kind of diet than I've ever actually stuck to, let's say. Okay. So what was coming up for me when it was like, I'm entitled to miracles, I was thinking it's going to be a miracle that I stick to this completely. And that was my ego telling me immediately to lose confidence. I mean, the hard work that I did here, I want it to last, and I want to actually take my body through the entire process of detoxification and cleansing, which requires follow-on care for, you know, the next couple of months at least. And the ego is trying to tell me it's going to be too hard. You're going to be around people who are going to offer you cooked food that you love. You're going to take it. You're going to want to be snacking. You're going to want to be, you know, having pizza or ice cream or something. And it's all these ideas that are coming into my mind that's telling me, you know, you can wish for the miracle, but it's not going to happen. So it's amazing how this, of course, just plops into my lap today, these two lessons, because I get to see what my ego is doing. Now, I believe that I have a tremendous amount of discipline, and now I have these memories of being here in this room, going through my own version of hell on some days, all for the sake of purifying my vessel and bringing myself to a higher vibration and a higher frequency. Why would I want to, you know, give that up? Why would I want to not follow through with going all the way? So I appreciate the fact that those thoughts came up because I know they're there. But then I can say, again, my affirmation to the universe, or even like a request to the Holy Spirit to help me release, let miracles replace all these grievances. So it's really my ego mind that's trying to talk me out of staying on track with anything I want to do. And I would say this could apply broadly to some of you that are trying to, you know, change. You want to transform your life in some way, and there's all these voices in your head that are telling you why it's not possible, why it's not going to be acceptable for other people, how you're just going to fail because it's just not normal and you have to be normal. You know, all these things might come into your mind, but you can tell yourself, not only are you entitled to miracles, so you can hear the ego's chatter and not be attached to it and not jump onto that boat and ride down that river, but you can then say, let miracles replace all of these grievances. And they're grievances with self, little self, but still, right? It doesn't always have to be other people or like projecting out. Most of, well, the source of everything is our own judgment with ourself, our own intolerance with ourself, and all of that. But when you can look within and see all your own grievances, all your own, you know, ways that the ego is preventing you from having success, because it just talks you out of really just doing the hard work, or doing the thing that seems scary, or doing the thing that just doesn't feel normal, for lack of a better word. So I really appreciated this morning, that it gave me a chance to see what is coming up in my mind and what I'm afraid of. And I know that I'm doing something that is very different, and I'm going to be eating in a way that is very different. And I'm going to actually be working on a catering job with a neighbor for a yoga therapy retreat coming up next week. And most of the menu is cooked food. And I want to negotiate with him about, I will help you cook everything. I'll be there, but I don't want to taste anything. I don't want to eat anything, because what'll happen for me is it'll just trigger the desire to have more and more cooked foods, when what I'm trying to do is have all raw, you know, mono meals of fruit and salads every day, 4 meals a day, lots of water. That's what I want to stick to. But all the other things that could try to creep in and tempt me, well, the ego, I don't want to allow that in my life. So I'm already thinking about the kinds of conversations I need to have, and how do I sort of mitigate in advance what might be coming up for me, which is another good thing. You know, that's something that we would always do in the military when we were planning missions. We would think about risk mitigation and, you know, the potential, you know, enemy potential, any place we needed to have more fortified security and things like that. So it's funny how these military concepts are in my head, but I'm seeing them from the loving perspective of the ego is not my enemy, but I definitely perceive what's coming through as not helpful to me, not in my best interest, not, the ego doesn't care about my spiritual evolution. So, risk mitigation factors are in my mind right now about when I head back home. I've already got fruit. I got the email today that some of my fruit has already arrived at the house. So I'm going to be able to eat some wonderful tropical fruit. And then from there, I'll just have to continue on and find other sources and keep going for the next couple of months. And then I'm going to be traveling as well. So I've got to do some risk mitigation in those areas to know that I can plan and prepare and sort of, nurture my way through this experience without feeling like I'm caught off guard or it's too hard or I might as well quit because I'm going to fail anyway. Like that's a grievance. That is not a miracle. The miracle is I'm going to surprise myself and I'm going to be so successful and I'm going to show people that it's possible to live this way. It's possible to have major improvements in your health by making these very different paths in the way that your diet works and your lifestyle. However, I think it's worth it. And I don't know anybody else that's doing this. So the fact that I'm making these videos and telling you about it, hopefully plant some seeds of inspiration for you if you're seeking to not only improve your spiritual well-being, but also your physical health. There are options out there that are just not common and not known about. And I love exploring stuff like that. So thank you all so much. The refeed is going great. I wish my bowel movements were a little bit more regular, but I know that's coming the more that I stick with this particular diet for lots and lots of reasons. So I'm still drinking lots of water. So far, it's been about 6 liters a day. When I go back home, it may drop down to about 4 just because I won't be in such an enclosed environment. However, it's still going to be a major priority for me to stay hydrated because I believe now, after having learned everything that I've learned here, that the signs of aging are actually signs of dehydration and toxification. So over the years of your life, all the different decisions you've made with how to eat, whether you're drinking alcohol or using drugs or using pharmaceutical medications for long periods of time, that's toxifying the body and has lasting impacts. So when you start to hydrate the body, yes, you will go through a detox the body wants to correct that stuff, but you're putting water back into the cells. Water is life. Water is electrifying everything. Water is turning on, connections that have been turned off for whatever reason. So I think this is pretty simple. Just adding in more water, adding in more fresh fruits and vegetables. And the vegetable variety does not have to be that big. I used to think as a vegetarian, I was supposed to eat like a myriad of vegetables and avoid fruit. But now I'm flipping that and I'm saying I'm eating a myriad of fruits and avoiding most vegetables because many of them are difficult for the body to digest. They may taste good, and our minds and our taste buds are addicted to a lot of things that we force ourselves to like on our health journey, and I'm a perfect example of that. So now I'm having to change my perspective in this new way as I'm heading back home to focus more on fruit and on salads, but simple salads. So that's my challenge, and that is my miracle that I am bringing in, and I hope that you guys do the same thing. Find those grievances with yourself and take these 2 lessons, I'm entitled to miracles and let miracles replace all grievances. Make it your self-help workshop today. And if your meditations aren't coming in like crystal clear, maybe you're more able to channel in writing. Or maybe you're someone that has like super vivid dreams and you could ask before you go to sleep, hey, Jesus, hey, my guides and teachers, will you please give me a dream to help me figure out where my grievances are and how I can replace those grievances with miracles. Something like that, like whatever is your strong suit. Maybe you like to sing, maybe you're playing music. Whatever it is that gets you in contact with spirit and gets you into that zone where things start coming to you and you start to have those aha moments. I think that will really help when you implement the good out of these 2 lessons in your life. So thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful, wonderful day. I love you all so much, and I will see you back here again for the next video.